One of the unique programs we have is our Business Prime program. And this is really designed for those students who are looking to work for financial institutions in the future. With the Prime program, students manage an active portfolio worth around 2 million Canadian dollars, which is traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange. So you get to research companies and see if they're good investments and then invest in them. And my understanding is in the last few years, it's been able to beat the tracker index for the TSX. It's outperformed the stock market. Wow. Students in that Prime program are in very high demand. So many of our big banks in Canada and from the US will come and actively recruit the students in that Prime program.
And hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Coffee Chat with Adam. I have my coffee right here. And John, do you have your coffee with you?
I do, I'm especially prepared for it.
Starbucks, I love that. So today is another episode of Coffee Chat with Adam, as I said, and I'm joined by John Gregory from University of Alberta. So John, I think I'm ready to get into the questions, and I have the very simple first question that I usually ask is just, I would like to know more about you, about your position at the university, and also some of the duties that you have working for the university.
Yeah. So my name's John Gregory. I'm originally from the UK. Came to Alberta many years ago when I was an international student. I did an exchange year from the University of London, so came to U of A and met my wife while studying here and have been a big fan of the university ever since. Currently, I'm the Director of International Recruitment at the university. We're a very international university, and around 15% of our population are international students. So we're popular with both international students and Canadian students. My job is to speak with students who are interested in studying abroad and tell them about the advantages of studying here at the University of Alberta.
And I'm sure there are many advantages to studying at the University of Alberta. Definitely.
We like to think so.
I mean, that's why we're having the talk today, so we can learn more about these advantages today. So could you please tell us more about the university itself? So some background information, history probably, what makes the university more unique and all the other.
The university was founded about 110 years ago, 1908, so one of the oldest institutions in the province of Alberta. May seem relatively modern in European terms, but for Canada it's quite old, particularly for Western Canada. Yeah. We're a large university, just under about 40,000 students study with us. We're ranked in the top 5 universities in Canada and in the top 150 in the world. We also have very good graduate employment outcomes. According to the QS rankings for graduate employment, we're in the top 100 in the world and number 2 in Canada for employment rate. So we provide both a very good academic education but also excellent career prospects. The last week's been a very exciting time at the University of Alberta. We've been celebrating one of our faculty members, Dr. Michael Houghton, winning the Nobel Prize in Medicine for 2020.
Congratulations.
Thank you. He was part of the team who discovered the hepatitis C virus. The university has a big virology centre, which is currently working on various vaccines, including the one for COVID as well. We have a lot of different faculties, 18 faculties in total, so you can pretty much study whatever you would like with us. And we're a full research university, so we offer a full range of programs, bachelor's, master's, PhD. We focus a lot on co-op opportunities for our students, which is reflected by that employment rate I talked about earlier. And we're also known for being a very friendly, welcoming place in Alberta as well. So it's kind of some of the highlights I outlined there.
I think it's great that you mentioned all of these points, because I think one of the great selling points is actually the location for students when selecting university, and knowing University of Alberta is located not only just in Canada but also in the province of Alberta. It's also quite attractive to many students, especially in Vietnam. So you did say the university is focused on research as well. So actually I wanted to learn more about the teaching methodology that the university uses. Is it heavily research focused, or is it like industry and research focused, or there's a balance in between?
Yeah, so when you start your classes, it's a 4-year degree in Canada. So in the first year, the focus will be primarily on teaching, learning the basics of the subjects. Once you advance through your degree, then there'll be great opportunities to undertake research. Many of our students go on to graduate and doctoral studies at a later date. So you would probably start off with more a teaching approach to learn the basics of the subject you're looking to study. And then by the 4th year, you'll be doing a lot more research-based teaching. One of the differences between Canada and maybe other countries is the degrees are quite broad. So although you may be entering for a business degree, there's the opportunity to do a number of subjects from other areas as well. So like compared to the UK, with the UK you tend to focus on one area for the duration of the degree. With Canada, there's a flexibility to take a variety of subjects and really see what you like before focusing. Our business degree would be a good option. You don't actually select your major until your 3rd year, so you've had that opportunity to take a variety of business courses and courses from another discipline, and then choose from one of the majors we offer for your Bachelor of Commerce degree. There's over 16 majors in total students can choose from.
So is it also an option for students to choose a double major, or how they are?
In some cases, yes, that would typically extend the duration of your degree. So maybe you'll be studying for 5 years, and there's often an opportunity to add a minor option as well. So maybe mum and dad are very keen on you studying accountancy, but maybe you have a passion for another subject, maybe in the arts. So you could maybe do an accountancy degree with an arts program as your minor option.
And for the minor is also going to increase the duration to 5 years?
Not necessarily, no. With a minor, you can normally complete the minor requirements within that 4-year period. It's more of a double major, which would typically take a little longer.
So there are options for students, and this is good to know, because I do have to let you know that nowadays, apparently, I think it's always, but recently, like I think with COVID, a lot of students are considering a double major bachelor's degree if possible, and it's good to learn that the university, but to know the university does have this option for students if they like to choose that as a pathway for themselves. What I would like to ask you more about is as you know, the students who are going to be watching this episode today are interested in studying the NCUK International Foundation Program, and a lot of these students would like to know about the requirements that the university have for NCUK students. So we're looking at the subject streams, if possible.
Yep. So we're proud to be the Canadian partner of the NCUK network of colleges. So from NCUK, we do require 3 academic subjects in the International Foundation year. And one of them, if you're looking to get into business, must be a math course as well. And we accept 2 other academic subjects in math, and 2 other academic subjects would be a good combination to join us with. Right.
And I think for the language, we would expect students to have at least an IELTS 6.0 or 6.5 IELTS equivalent score.
Yeah, so for our language criteria, students would be required to have an IELTS 6.5 with no band below 6.0.
Right.
There are alternative English qualifications students can take, but we do recommend IELTS for students based in Vietnam. If you have that 6.5, you can then apply for the Student Direct Stream visa, which simplifies your study permit application to Canada. It requires less documents and also speeds up the time in which your study permit will be processed in. So that would be helpful for you if you're looking to come to Canada.
Definitely. It's good to know. It's just good information for students to know about before they decide to come to the university or apply to the university in advance. Another point that I wanted to ask you more about is scholarships. Scholarships are quite attractive, not only for their the reward, the prize that they could provide the students with, but also the sense of achievement that the students receive from obtaining these scholarships. So what are some of the scholarships that are available for students to apply for at the university?
Yep, so we have a lot of scholarships. Many of our scholarships are automatically awarded based on your NCUK grades at the time of admission. So no separate application is required for them. You'll be evaluated as soon as you apply and send in your transcripts. We have an international country scholarship, which is valued at $5,000, and we award that to all applicants from Vietnam. So alongside that $5,000 one, you could qualify for our international student scholarship, which is up to $9,000 a year. And if you're a really top student, we also offer the $6,000 gold standard scholarship. You could be awarded all of these 3 scholarships if you have top grades, and that's automatically no need for a separate application. So the gold standard, international student scholarship, and the country scholarship. So that would be about $20,000 in automatic scholarships to start. If you're a top student and you also have a lot of extracurricular activities, there's a number of other scholarships you may apply for which do require a separate application. The deadline is typically the 15th of December, which is actually today for this intake. So I'm sure many of our applicants around the world are frantically working on their scholarship applications. I would encourage you to do it a little bit earlier than the day of.
Yeah.
We offer the International Entrance Citation Scholarship, which is a $40,000 one. We have a number of centenary scholarships at $30,000. And we also offer the Entrance Leader Scholarship at $7,500 dollars. So there's those 3 automatic scholarships, and if you submit a good application for the scholarships, you can also win one of the 3 other ones.
Mm-hmm. There are definitely a lot of options here. I think I lost track of what I'm writing down here, but I think
I had it written down.
I think the thing to take home here is that there are plenty of scholarships that are available, and there are also scholarships available for NCUK students and also for Vietnamese students as well. So there are good options for students to apply for. And you said the majority of these scholarships are automatic scholarships. So as long as the student achieves a certain GPA, probably from their high school, or the grades from NCUK.
It would typically be based on your first semester NCUK results, so as well as you can in them, and then you're more likely to be awarded automatic scholarships as well. And that applies to most Canadian institutions. Alberta probably has more in scholarship funding than many, but we do encourage early applications as funds are limited. So the earlier you submit your application with the required documents, the more likely you are to get that automatic scholarship.
Right. So no procrastinating, okay? You gotta do your homework and submit the application. Sorry. All right. Good to know. I think you already answered this question about the double major. So thank you very much for letting me know about that. What I would like to know more about is the Faculty of Business at the university. So what do you think the difference is between studying business at the University of Alberta and studying, say, the same field but in other universities in Canada? What makes the business or faculty of business at the university more unique?
So we have a strong overall ranking for the university, being in the top 5 universities in Canada. So that instantly means your degree is respected by potential employers, and also for graduate level studies, both in Canada and around the world. The business school itself has been ranked by the Financial Times of London in the top 100 business schools in the world. You have a wide range of majors to choose from. By your third year, you can choose one of 16 different majors. And we also offer an extensive co-op program where students are able to undertake paid work experience during their studies. One of the unique programs we have is our Business Prime program, and this is really designed for those students who are looking to work for financial institutions in the future. With a Prime program, students manage an active portfolio worth around 2 million Canadian dollars, which is traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange. So you get to research companies and see if they're good investments and then invest in them. My understanding is in the last few years it's been able to beat the tracker index for the TSX. It's outperformed the stock market.
Wow.
Students in that Prime program are in very high demand, so many of our big banks in Canada and from the US will come and actively recruit the students in that Prime program.
Wow. That's outstanding. I actually, that's new information to me. I never knew about it, but managing 2 million portfolio, that's incredible. That's this is, I would say this is the best hands-on experience you could ever get as a student, definitely. As I also wanted to ask you about work integrated learning, because a lot of the times it's important to know more about whether the university offers the student with the opportunity to do paid, like you said, there is an opportunity for paid work experience. Is this while the students are studying, or it's during summer holiday, or is it after the student has graduated? When does this?
So it's called co-op, cooperative education with the School of Business. So students apply for that at the start of their third year. It would be full-time paid professional placements. So if a student's doing co-op, they can do it over the summer months, or maybe they'll take a break from their studies and do a work placement during term time and then come back to finish off their university studies. We offer a lot of flexibility in terms of our degree, so you're not wedded to having to complete it in 4 years. There's the opportunity to extend, etc. So you can do co-op during the degree, which may extend your degree length somewhat, but when you graduate, you then graduate with a good degree, but also that work experience and the connections you have built up. I know many students who do co-op will then go and work for their employer upon graduation. If you've had that trial run with them, they know what you're like, what the employer is like. So instead of having to convince an employer in a 30 to 45-minute interview, you've got months to convince them that you would be a good hire for the company.
Which is
and one of the great things.
No, go ahead, please.
And one of the great things about Canada is upon graduating from the 4-year degree, you do obtain a 3-year graduate work permit. So there's the opportunity to stay and work in Canada after you complete your studies.
Definitely, that's a better option, I would say. The students grabbing the opportunity to take the work experience and then building up their network, like you said, because that kind of become, I would say, their advantage compared with other peers who didn't really take the work experience. And then after they graduate, they could either directly go and work for this employer, or what I would like to ask you about is whether the university offers some sort of after graduation career support as well for students who didn't take the work placement. So there are some students that probably will be considering maybe the university can help me even after I graduate? Are there any kind of, say, job fairs or any kind of like a networking event the university try to organize on a yearly or annual basis?
So there's lots of support services in terms of careers. With the University of Alberta, we have both the Central Career Service and also faculty-specific ones. Some of the services you would get from the Career Services is support in your resume writing or CV, depending on what you call it, but cover letter writing, and also you can go in for mock interviews as well, so you do practice interviews to get you more comfortable and familiar with the type of questions that employers may ask. Both the university itself and the Faculty of Business hold career fairs during the semesters each year. So there's multiple career fairs, and with our ranking we're in demand from employers, and that's one of the reasons why we're in the top 100 and top 2 in Canada for graduate employment rates. In our International Student Centre there is a careers advisor specifically for international students, just to help them maybe adjust to the Canadian job search, can really give them individual detailed support in that area.
No, that's great actually. But just to emphasize on that point one more, and another thing that I would like to ask you about is currently there are a lot of students considering to have their own startup company or startup firm, and they're seeking to consider, probably when I go to university I will be able to, you know, take my idea out, receive some support from the university perhaps. Is it possible for students to actually apply to any kind of like a, say, an incubator or a shared like working space to develop their business idea? Does the university offer that kind of support to students who would like to develop their own business idea as well?
Yeah, both the university and the province of Alberta strongly encourages small business and business incubation. Alberta's been blessed in having some of the largest oil and gas reserves in the world. So it's been a very resource-rich economy. I think our oil reserves are third biggest in the world after, I think, Saudi Arabia and Venezuela. They were last time I checked. But with the reserves of oil and gas, there's also the challenge and the incentive to diversify the Albertan economy. So we've got a strong economy once the world moves away longer term from oil and gas. So our government and the university have been investing significantly in that area. One of the examples I can point to is we've got a growing tech ecosystem here. The university and the government have invested a lot in terms of computer science research. A number of our faculty members, for example, solved the game of checkers or drafts, depending how you call it. So we're leaders in machine-based learning, so there's a lot of tech investment in those areas. As mentioned at the start of the presentation, we recently won the Nobel Prize for medicine, so we have strong expertise in virology as well. So our government's really focused on diversifying our economy while continuing to support the oil and gas industry. So if you're a creative or a budding entrepreneur and you have good ideas, Alberta would be a very welcoming environment for you.
It's definitely a good point to learn about, because maybe something I would like, this is something I maybe never shared with you before, but students nowadays, at least the ones that I speak to in Vietnam, are quite enthusiastic about starting up their own business ideas. So it could be the new generation thing, it could be just students in general nowadays are considering businesses of their own because of the technology age, you know, opening or bringing a lot of ideas through the internet to students. But regardless, it's really good to know that they have the option to, develop their own idea. They would like to explore some sort of a business idea or a technological idea as well. That's good to know. Definitely good to know. But what about, after students come to the university and live in the city, could you tell us more about living on campus versus living off campus? And what are the majority of students do? Do they choose to live on campus for the first year, or do they choose to live off campus? How does it look like?
Yeah. I always strongly encourage students to live on campus, particularly in their first year. When you come to a new country or move into a new city, even if it's in the same country, it's unlikely you will know many people there. So being able to live on residence with many other people who are new to the city is a great way to make new friends and lasting friendships. When I look back at my strong friends from university who I'm still in contact with, virtually all of them lived in the same first year hall of residence. It was one of the great years of my life. I look back on fondly. They study hard and have lots of fun. So I would strongly recommend students do that in their first year to build up those social connections. And also residence is a very safe environment. You can walk to all your classes directly from residence. It comes with a meal plan offering a wide variety of food, so you can choose from a big range of options. You don't have to worry about cooking. And also our residence is shared between Canadian and international students. So it's a great way to meet both friends from Vietnam, other countries, and also Canadian friends as well. So I would strongly recommend it. It's probably one of the best decisions you can make in terms of your university level studies, just to live on campus, at least in your first year. We do guarantee accommodation for first year, and if you want to study on campus throughout your degree, you may. But often once students have made friends, they'll move into local accommodation with their friends. But we do guarantee for that first year that you can live on campus, and it's a great way to help to establish yourself in Canada.
So you definitely do have like a population of Vietnamese students. What do they usually choose? Do they usually go with living on campus?
Yes, they would typically live on campus. A few of them will live with relatives or friends in the surrounding community, but the majority would live on campus. And if you can live on campus, I would strongly recommend you go with that option.
Mm-hmm. So in that regards, I assume the university also have a lot of clubs and societies that are available for students who are, just all students, not just those who are living on campus. So is it is it easy for students to participate in these clubs and societies? Because I know extracurricular activities is also part of the university's encouragement to encourage the students to participate in those. So one of the questions that I always get is there any Vietnamese society or the Asian society or something that they would feel kind of like related to in some sense?
Yeah, there's hundreds of clubs and societies on our campus. So if you want to join the Vietnamese Students Association, you can. There's a very active International Students Association. There's many social clubs as well. Coming to Canada as an international student, I joined the ski club. So I learned to ski as an international student. The university actually provides learn to skate lessons, which are open to everyone, but would primarily be for international students. So again, I learned to skate at the university and fell over on local TV when they were doing interviews. So there's lots of different clubs and societies to join. If you're keen on sports, we have great sports facilities which students can use included in their fees, so there's no additional charge for the sports facilities. And there's also something called intramural leagues, which is where you sign up and play against other University of Alberta students. You can either sign up as a team with friends, or if you're just establishing your networks, you can sign up as an individual and you'll be put on another team who you will soon make friends with. So we offer intramurals and a wide range of sports as well. In terms of our first year residence, Lister, where most of our first year students study, there's a very active dodgeball league, which over 80% of residents play in. So.
Nice. There are plenty of things for students to participate in, definitely there. So I do hope that you letting the students know about these will encourage the students to think about what society or club would I like to join in way before they actually could come to the university. Could they search for this information on the website, by the way? Could they find out more?
Yeah, many of the clubs and societies are listed on the university website, and many of them have developed their own web pages as well.
Good. Definitely good to know about. I do have two final questions before we actually end today's episode, and the one I'd like to actually ask you more about is the financial plan, which is very important for international students. So what is the living cost like in Alberta, for example? And does the university, for example, if we're looking at the campus or living on campus versus living on campus, what are the expenses looking like for those two different living lifestyles?
Yeah, so it really depends. We recommend that students budget at least $1,000 a month for food and accommodation. That would be a basic style of living. So you may not be going out too much. If you're obviously a keen shopper, maybe budget a bit more. It's a lot easier doing on campus, at least to that first year, and then once you're more established, if you're going to share housing with multiple other students, that may reduce your costs a little bit as well. Students are able to work part-time in Canada, 20 hours per week. And in Alberta, we do have the highest minimum wage in Canada, $15 per hour as well. So there's part-time work available if students want it. Moving on to tuition, we're very proud to have a guaranteed tuition model for international students, which means the tuition fee you pay in your final year will be exactly the same as your fee in your first year. So there's 0% fee increases during your degree, which is really beneficial for parents. They know exactly how much they need to budget for your tuition. There's no surprise 10, 15 or even 20% tuition increase during your studies. The tuition is the exact same amount in year 4 as it is in year 1 as well.
Good to know, especially with the idea that the parents could prepare for that, because a lot of parents actually, the first thing they ask is like, how much am I going to be spending for a student, for my kid, basically, when they go into this university. So it's good that you actually let me know about that. It helps a lot, so I don't have to do all the calculations for the parents, or the expected versus the lower and the higher end. So good to know that it's the same tuition fee throughout their whole 4 years program. So I think I don't have any more questions that I'm really that I want to ask you about, except for one final thing that I would like to know, kind of like your personal advice to our students who would like to study at the University of Alberta. So what would you like to tell our students who are watching the episode today? What kind of advice would you like to give to our students?
I would say wherever you're looking to study, do your research, look at the ranking of the institution, the career outcomes, maybe try and speak to some current students if you have the opportunity. You've got a big choice of institutions to choose from. Obviously, going to tell you the University of Alberta is great, but I would encourage you to do your own research to make sure it's the right institution for you. I came here many years ago as an international student and had a great impact on my life, and hopefully it will have a similar one on yourself. If you're looking to move abroad permanently, Canada is a very welcoming country. Almost a quarter of our population were born outside of Canada, I think 22%. So you've got that welcoming environment in Canada alongside a great education. So we think being in the top 5 institutions in Canada, those great graduate employment outcomes, the strengths of the School of Business, and that great campus life means we're a great option for Vietnamese students, alongside the scholarships and the guaranteed tuition model.
Nice. So do your research, okay, and make sure you speak with students who have already been at the University of Alberta, and they will probably be praising the university a lot. And also remember the university's strengths that we just talked about today, and also remember the diverse environment and the culture that you're going to be living in if you live in Canada as well. So these are great points, actually, John. Thank you very much for sharing with our students.
No, thank you for your time, and I wish the students best of luck with their education.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John. Indeed. I do also want to thank you personally for your time today, and we'll probably have another episode in the future with you. But for now, this is, I think, a great start for students to learn more about the University of Alberta. So I don't have any more questions, John. I think it's a great time for us to end the episode here.
Okay, thanks very much, Adam, and I wish you a Merry Christmas, and look forward to speaking with you and many of the students in the new year.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too. So thanks everybody for watching today's episode, and we'll see you on the next one.